here at Agile 2008 in Toronto, talking with Todd Landry, Senior Product Manager for Klockwork. And how's the show going for you so far?
The show's going really well. You know, it's the type of show that brings together the people we want to talk to, which are developers. And you know, there's a ton of them here. It's exactly who we want to talk to, and it's been extremely good for us to, you know, it's hard to get a bunch of developers all together in one spot. This show has done that for us, so it's been great for us.
Yeah, I know that you know, the face of the types of people coming here this year versus last year seems to have changed a little bit too. You know, I know maybe your customers are typically maybe the enterprise types of organizations, so you're seeing a little bit more adoption by enterprise types of
yeah,
customers.
absolutely. In fact, you know, we're seeing our customers are walking by us and they're saying, "Hey, Klockwork, we use you," which is really cool. And you know, for us, it's you know, when we're out there talking to our customers, we don't typically ask them what kind of development methodology they're using. It doesn't really matter to us, but it's very cool to hear them, and the number of them using Agile right now, so it's extremely cool.
I think that really the pace of Agile adoption has really picked up over the last couple of years. Are you seeing that, you know, more and more?
So I saw it firsthand, actually. You know, in a previous life, you know, we started off doing traditional waterfall, and then probably about a year ago we decided to move to Agile Scrum, actually. And then we saw other groups within the company picking up and doing it. So, you know, it was we were kind of one of the firsts, but by the time you know, 6-8 months had gone by, 4 or 5 other groups within our organization had started their Agile projects as well.
Oh, really?
And I don't think that's uncommon for other organizations. And you know, the customers we're talking to, that's what we're hearing. It starts off small, and then it just seems to grow from there as more and more groups start seeing what's going on. They see how the teams are functioning, and they kind of go, "This sounds like something we want to do."
Sure. Do you think the role of management is kind of changing a little bit to foster this?
Well, I think so. I mean, there's, you know, management's always looking for ways of getting out, you know, better code, you know, better releases, more functionality, this and that. And so I think they're looking at ways, and they're starting to see, you know what, this Agile thing, it's not just a fad, it's something that is probably here to stay, and it's working. But you know, they really need to be committed to it. That's probably the biggest issue. You know, they see it, they read a little bit about it, and then they say, well, let's implement an Agile environment. And you know, unless they stay committed to it, chances are it's not going to really succeed. So, you know, from a management perspective, absolutely, it's taking off, and they're getting more involved. But the commitment really needs to be there from their perspective.
So what do you think some of the other tool vendors, or even, you know, your own company, what do you think that the tool vendors can do to really support, you know, the further adoption of Agile amongst their customers?
Well, I think what they have to do, since Agile is really focused on, you know, not so much about process and so on, or not so much about tools, but more process. Introducing tools could be a difficult thing, so you have to make sure that the tools you bring in don't add too much to the process. Make it easy for them to use. Make it something that the developers can use on a day-to-day basis, or you know, just as a regular tool within their little toolbox of tools that they use. I think that's probably the biggest thing. Trying to get a developer who's moved to Agile, which is a big enough shift as it is, and then starting to introduce tools that might even cause more of a shift and a disruption and so on. That's not going to work. So the tools that are being delivered, they have to be able to fit right into the Agile environment and to the developers, you know, the way the developer does their job.
So any predictions for the future? Do you see this trend of this rapid pace around for Agile adoption continuing and maybe plateauing at some point in the future?
Yeah, hard to say. I don't really have a crystal ball with me, but you know, I certainly think that you know, you're starting to see some really large organizations moving to it. You're seeing groups sprouting up, more and more groups sprouting up in organizations doing it. I think there's lots of growth left. In terms of where it's going to, you know, plateau. Your guess is as good as mine on that one.
So what do you guys got new? What's going on at Klockwork?
Well, Klockwork is, you know, basically we're a source code analysis company. We find bugs. We find security vulnerabilities in your source code, and you know, we really fit. Again, as I was saying earlier, we're focused on the developer. We bring tools to the developer so that they don't check in code that has bugs in it.
Right.
You know, because what happens at that point is you start checking in bugs. The quality people will find the bugs. It goes back to the developer. What happens then? Well, the developer has to fix the bug, take away from what they're working on already, focus on what they were doing, you know, what they were doing 2 or 3 days ago, and then fix it, and then resubmit it to QC to test again. You know, we're trying to eliminate that. Let's let developers develop good code, check it in, and then let our QC team focus on things that, you know, aren't just coding errors, coding standard problems, and so on. Let them focus on features and so on, and what's valuable to the customer.
So where can people go to find out more about Klockwork?
Well, they can certainly go to our website, www.clockwork.com.